The upstairs at Graceland is a place of mystery, off limits to the public, shrouded in secrecy, and preserved exactly as Elvis left it. It's one of the most intriguing parts of the mansion, sparking curiosity in fans worldwide. But while many know that this area was deeply personal to Elvis, few realize who else shared this hidden sanctuary with him. Did Elvis spend his time there alone, or was there a select group of people who had access to this sacred space? And what about the layout? How many rooms were really up there, and what secrets do they hold? You might be surprised by the answer, as the truth reveals more than just the private life of a global superstar. It unveils the close-knit circle and the hidden layers of his life at Graceland. Number 7. Graceland's upstairs. Graceland, the iconic home of Elvis Presley, stands as a symbol of rock and roll history and a pilgrimage site for millions of fans around the world. Its stately columns, sprawling lawns, and unmistakable southern charm make it instantly recognizable. But there's one part of the mansion that has always been off-limits: the mysterious upstairs. While visitors can tour the rest of the property, walking through rooms filled with Elvis's personal mementos and musical achievements, the second floor remains shrouded in secrecy. This hidden area, untouched by the public, holds a certain allure, as it has been preserved just as it was when Elvis last walked its halls. The upstairs represents more than just another part of the house. It's a place frozen in time, offering a glimpse into the private life of the king that only a select few have ever witnessed. For decades, fans have been captivated by the enigma of what lies beyond the second floor. The idea of rooms that have been left untouched since Elvis's passing has fueled imaginations and rumors alike. What personal items might still rest on his nightstand? What stories do the walls of these rooms hold, locked away from even the most dedicated followers of Elvis's legacy? It's a space frozen in time, closed to the public, preserving the final moments of the king's life in a way that feels almost sacred. This sense of mystery only heightens Graceland's iconic status, as it keeps a part of Elvis's life forever veiled in secrecy, adding to the enduring fascination with the legend and the man behind it all. Number 6. Who lived upstairs with Elvis? While most people assume that Elvis had the entire upstairs of Graceland to himself, that wasn't always the case. In fact, this private sanctuary, which has fascinated fans for decades, was shared with some of the most important people in Elvis's life. Though it was his retreat from the pressures of fame and the outside world, the upstairs at Graceland was not just a personal hideaway, but also a space filled with love, family, and shared memories. It wasn't just Elvis pacing those halls late at night. Other members of the Presley family called this area home as well. One of the most significant people to share this private space was Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's only daughter. Born in 1968, Lisa Marie lived at Graceland from the time she was brought home as a newborn until Elvis's death in 1977. The bond between father and daughter was incredibly close, and many of their most intimate family moments took place in the upstairs rooms, away from the public eye. For young Lisa Marie, the upstairs wasn't just a part of the mansion, it was her childhood home, a place where she and her father could be themselves, far from the pressures of the outside world. This space would remain forever etched in her memory as the place where she experienced her happiest moments with Elvis. Another resident of the upstairs quarters was Minnie Mae Presley, Elvis's paternal grandmother, known affectionately as Dodger. Minnie Mae moved into Graceland in 1960 and, for many years, lived in one of the upstairs rooms. Despite the glamour and excitement of living in the home of a global superstar, Dodger was a grounding presence in Elvis's life, providing him with a sense of stability and connection to his roots. She was one of the few people who had unrestricted access to the upstairs, sharing in the family's private moments, away from the prying eyes of the public. Her quiet but constant presence in the home made her a beloved figure within the Presley household. Elvis's relationship with Minnie Mae was one of deep affection and respect. He lovingly called her Dodger, a nickname that reflected the closeness of their bond. Throughout the years, she was a steadfast figure in his life, offering him comfort and guidance. Elvis, despite his hectic lifestyle and overwhelming fame, always made time for her, often retreating upstairs to enjoy quiet moments in her company. Her presence in the household was a testament to the strong family ties that remained at the heart of Elvis's life, even as he reached unimaginable heights of success. For Elvis, the upstairs at Graceland was much more than a private escape. It was a place where family came first. Minnie Mae's room, just steps away from his own, was a reminder of the deep-rooted family values that shaped him. While the world knew Elvis as the king of rock and roll, behind the closed doors of Graceland's upstairs, he was simply a grandson, a son, and a father, surrounded by the people he loved most. This hidden chapter of his life adds yet another layer to the legacy of Elvis Presley, revealing a man who cherished his family and found comfort in their presence. Number 5. The layout of the upstairs. So how many rooms were there on the second floor? Elvis had 4 main rooms that made up his private quarters: his own master bedroom, a personal office, Lisa Marie's bedroom, and a walk-in closet that eventually grew to house his legendary wardrobe. These spaces were not just rooms, but extensions of Elvis's life, offering glimpses into both his personal style and the intimate world he shared with his family. Though the upstairs remains off-limits to the public, these 4 rooms hold stories that continue to intrigue and captivate fans around the world, leaving much to the imagination about how the king of rock and roll spent his private hours. Elvis's master bedroom, as you might expect, was the heart of his personal retreat. It was a luxurious yet comfortable space where he could unwind after long days of performing or recording. His office, located just next to the bedroom, was a hub of activity, a space where Elvis conducted much of his business and managed his day-to-day affairs. Technologically advanced for its time, the office featured a large desk, radio, and television, reflecting Elvis's need to stay connected to the world beyond Graceland. Here, he could listen to new music, keep up with news, or simply relax and watch TV. The setup was both functional and lavish, a perfect combination for a man who balanced the pressures of fame with a need for privacy. Lisa Marie's space was equally special. Originally designed as a nursery, the room evolved into her bedroom as she grew older, becoming a little sanctuary within the Presley household. For Elvis, this room was a reminder of his most cherished role, being a father. It was a place filled with memories of bedtime stories, laughter, and the simple joys of watching his daughter grow up. The proximity of Lisa Marie's bedroom to Elvis's own quarters reflected the close relationship they shared, ensuring that his little girl was never far from his side, even in the sprawling mansion that was Graceland. Together, these 4 rooms on the second floor weren't just spaces, they were the heart of Elvis's home life, filled with love, family, and the personal moments that made him more than just a superstar. Number 4. Elvis's private sanctuary. Elvis treated the upstairs of Graceland as his personal sanctuary, a sacred space where he could retreat from the pressures of fame and the constant attention of the world outside. While Graceland as a whole was his haven, the second floor was where he truly found peace, away from the cameras, fans, and responsibilities that came with being the king of rock and roll. For Elvis, this area represented solitude, a place where he could let his guard down and simply be himself. It was here, behind closed doors, that Elvis could relax, reflect on his life, and escape the whirlwind of his career. In this private refuge, he could unwind, surrounded by the comfort of his home and the few people he trusted to share this hidden world. At times, Elvis would lock himself away upstairs for days, completely immersing himself in the quiet solitude that the space offered. During these periods, the upstairs was his fortress, a place where he could recharge both mentally and physically. Whether he was deeply reflecting on his personal life, enjoying moments of peace with family, or simply escaping the demands of his schedule, this was where Elvis found balance. He spent countless hours in his bedroom, watching television, reading, or playing music, often finding solace in the small, everyday routines that kept him grounded. It was in these quiet moments that Elvis could distance himself from the chaos and frenzy of his public persona, retreating into a space where the world outside didn't exist. One of the most unique transformations within this upstairs retreat was the conversion of one of the bedrooms into a lavish walk-in wardrobe. This room became a testament to Elvis's extravagant style, housing his ever-growing collection of iconic clothing. From glittering jumpsuits to elaborate stage costumes, the wardrobe room was filled with the flamboyant outfits that helped define Elvis's larger-than-life image. The collection represented the many sides of Elvis: the performer, the fashion icon, and the man with a deep love for style. Each piece was a reflection of his unique persona, and this wardrobe room became an important part of his upstairs sanctuary, a physical embodiment of his extraordinary life, neatly tucked away in the privacy of Graceland. Number 3. Minnie Mae and Delta Presley's time at Graceland. After the passing of Elvis's beloved mother, Gladys, Minnie Mae Presley, Elvis's grandmother, continued to live at Graceland. For many years, she had been a steadfast presence in his life, and her role in the household was crucial in keeping the family grounded. Though she eventually moved downstairs into a more accessible bedroom, Minnie Mae remained close to her grandson, ensuring that the warmth and stability of family continued to fill the mansion, even in the wake of Gladys's loss. Her unwavering presence was a comforting reminder of Elvis's deep family ties, but Minnie Mae wasn't the only Presley family member to call Graceland home during those later years. In the early 1960s, after her husband passed away, Elvis's Aunt Delta also moved into Graceland, becoming an essential part of the household. Delta Mae Biggs, Gladys's younger sister, was a strong-willed, no-nonsense woman who took on the responsibility of helping to supervise the day-to-day operations of the mansion. While Graceland was often filled with visitors, from close friends to members of Elvis's famous Memphis Mafia, it was Delta who ensured that the home remained a well-functioning household. She played a pivotal role in maintaining order, providing a motherly presence that extended beyond her duties, and her strong bond with Elvis made her a natural fit in this tight-knit family. Aunt Delta lived at Graceland until her passing in 1993, long after Elvis and Minnie Mae were gone. For nearly 3 decades, she kept the Presley family legacy alive within those walls, overseeing the home even after it was opened to the public as a museum. While Elvis's fans flocked to Graceland to catch a glimpse of the king's life, Aunt Delta remained a quiet but significant figure behind the scenes, ensuring that Graceland retained its essence as a family home. Her life at Graceland serves as a poignant reminder that, though it became a symbol of Elvis's stardom, the mansion was first and foremost a place filled with the love and presence of the Presley family. Number 2. Elvis's girlfriends and visitors. Elvis wasn't alone in his upstairs sanctuary. His girlfriends were also frequent visitors to this private domain, a space few had the privilege to enter. Over the years, several women who were close to him spent intimate moments in the upstairs quarters, sharing in the private side of his life that the public never saw. Among them was Anita Wood, Elvis's early girlfriend, who was often by his side during the late 1950s and early 1960s. Their relationship was serious, and Anita spent significant time at Graceland, where she would retreat upstairs with Elvis to escape the outside world. Later, Priscilla Presley, who would go on to become Elvis's wife, also lived in these upstairs rooms. From her teenage years after moving to Graceland in the early 1960s until their marriage in 1967, Priscilla became a central figure in Elvis's life, and the upstairs became their shared space away from the public eye. Elvis was always mindful of creating a comfortable environment for those he cared about, and this was evident in the way he arranged his upstairs quarters. In addition to his own master bedroom, Elvis maintained a spare bedroom and bathroom specifically for his girlfriends. This room was furnished with all the luxuries and personal touches that reflected Elvis's desire to provide for the women in his life, ensuring they had their own private space within his home. Whether it was Anita Wood during the early years or Priscilla later on, these women had access to a side of Elvis that few others did. The spare bedroom served as a peaceful retreat within the larger sanctuary that was the upstairs at Graceland. For Elvis, this arrangement was part of the way he maintained a sense of normalcy and intimacy in his relationships, despite the immense pressures of his fame. By creating a space where his girlfriends could feel at home, Elvis ensured that his upstairs retreat wasn't just a place for him to escape, but also a private world where he could share moments of closeness with the women he loved. The presence of these spare rooms highlights how, even in his most personal space, Elvis valued the comfort and happiness of those who were closest to him, making the upstairs at Graceland not just his sanctuary, but a shared refuge of love and companionship. Number 1. The legacy of Graceland's upstairs today. The upstairs at Graceland remains locked away from the public eye, preserved as a sacred space frozen in time, just as Elvis left it. For fans and visitors alike, the mystery of what lies behind those closed doors continues to captivate imaginations. Though the public may never get to walk those halls, the stories and memories of those who lived there offer a rare glimpse into the personal life of the king of rock and roll. It was a place where Elvis sought refuge, where he could be himself away from the demands of his career and the constant adoration of the world. The upstairs wasn't just a part of Graceland, it was the heart of Elvis's home, filled with laughter, family, and moments of solitude. Even now, decades later, the aura of this hidden sanctuary adds to the legend of Elvis Presley, preserving the private man behind the public persona. One of the key figures in that upstairs world was Minnie Mae Presley, Elvis's grandmother, who remained a central figure in the Presley household long after Elvis's mother, Gladys, had passed away. Known affectionately as Dodger, Minnie Mae lived at Graceland for many years, first upstairs and later in a downstairs bedroom, always providing a steady and comforting presence in Elvis's life. She was there during the most significant moments, sharing in both the joys and sorrows of the family. Even as Elvis's fame reached unimaginable heights, Minnie Mae remained his connection to his roots, reminding him of the strong family ties that had always been a part of who he was. When Minnie Mae passed away in 1980, she was laid to rest in Graceland's meditation garden, a peaceful spot that had already become the final resting place of Elvis himself. Surrounded by his parents and loved ones, Minnie Mae was buried alongside her beloved grandson, forever remaining a part of the Graceland legacy. This quiet garden, where the Presley family now rests, stands as a poignant reminder of the deep familial bonds that ran through Graceland, even in the midst of the stardom that surrounded Elvis. While the upstairs remains closed to the world, the stories of those who lived there and the legacy they left behind continue to echo through the halls of Graceland, offering us a glimpse into the personal life of the king. Even though we may never see the upstairs of Graceland with our own eyes, the history and legacy of those who shared this private space with Elvis continue to live on through the stories passed down over the years. This hidden part of Graceland, reserved only for the closest members of Elvis's life, remains a symbol of the personal side of the king, one that adds depth and mystery to his already legendary life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about Elvis Presley. And be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss an update on our latest videos, including the next one, where we dive into more incredible details about the king's life that will leave you amazed.